Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Christine and this is my Meet All of My Pets video. You have probably seen a lot of my pets in my previous videos, but I did want to introduce everybody and tell you how I ended up with them. So let's get started. This big girl right here is Cali. She was the first pet, my first dog that I ever purchased with my own money that wasn't like my childhood pet. An old friend, her uncle was selling pit bull puppies that his dogs had, and I bought her for $150. I went to go pick her out at his home when she was weeks old. I mean, not even weeks old, days old. Her eyes were still not open. I'll insert some pictures. And I just knew that she was the one for me. She was like super feisty even at that age, super playful. And she's all about her toys. At 6 weeks, we did go actually like bring her home with us, and we've been together ever since. I love her so much. She's such a cuddler. She is my baby. Like I love Cali. She's a good girl. And what else? Oh, okay. I do want to mention she has chronic dry eye. So her body will make, it's kind of like a mucus like substance that comes out of her eyes, and I do have like a lubricant that I put on her eyes every day to kind of help with the dry eye. But she does have a dry eye condition. If you ever see some gooey stuff in her eyes, that's what it is. I try to keep it clean as much as possible. Sometimes she does not allow me to clean it. Sometimes it just keeps on building up no matter how much I clean it. So I do want to mention that if you ever see that, that's what it is. She suffers from dry eye, and unfortunately there is not a cure for it. So this is Cali, my sweet baby. This is Karma. She has quite a long story. When Cali was a puppy, I was walking her in our old neighborhood, and we stumbled across Karma. She was extremely emancipated, extremely malnourished, abused, and I just couldn't believe it. I had never seen a pit bull, or a dog for that matter, so neglected in real life. And I rushed home to drop off Cali. I got Aaron, and I was like, hey, we need to go rescue this dog. I went back to where I found her, and while I was there with Cali, walking Cali, these people called for her, and she went running, and then they slammed the door in her face. So anyways, when we went back, I just picked her up, and I was planning on just taking her because obviously she was not wanted. And the neighbor was like, hey, that's like, their dog. So I was like, okay, shoot, now I have to, there's a witness here, so let me go knock on the door and let them know that I will just gladly take their dog. I was knocking and knocking, and nobody ever answered, even though I could hear like music or the TV playing inside. So the neighbor's like partner or wife, I'm not sure, or somebody came out, and she said, like, take her, like, they're so mean to her, this and that, just take her. And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much for your blessing. So I took her, took care of her, bathed her, fed her, gave her love. And then I think a week or two after I found her, I took her to the vet just to get her checked out. At the vet, they found a chip that was from a totally different area than the area that I found her in. Like, those were the real owners. So I was so confused. I was pregnant at the time, and I was very emotional because I knew that meant that they were gonna take her back. It was rightfully their dog. And so at the vet, they come, they cry, I cry. It was so emotional for me. I have found dogs before, but I have found them and they look like they're missing. So I have that intentions of finding their owner, and I don't get too attached. I don't, I'll give them a nickname, but I won't take them in as my own Karma. I thought she was unwanted. I named her. I completely took her in as my dog. So it was very heartbreaking for me that, that she was going to get taken away from me. And of course, it's not their fault. I was happy that she was reunited with her family, and we were going to do play dates. So we exchanged numbers. About 3 months later, they called me, and I was like, oh, like they, must finally want a play date, I never called them either, but I was like, oh, yay, like the play date. But no, they called me to ask me if I wanted to take a Karma back because their landlord did not allow them to have Karma at their home. So I was like, heck yes, like I will for sure take her. Um, and yeah, that's we've had her ever since. She came back to us, and it was just meant to be. She is a very wonderful dog. She's laying down next to me now, so I don't even know if you can see her head, but this is her. Hey guys, it's me. I am editing, and I forgot that I wanted to mention something. I know that pit bulls have a really bad rep, but I have had nothing but great experiences with my dogs. They have been amazing. No type of aggression towards any person, any child, anything like that. So I just wanted to come on here because, like I said, I know pit bulls have a bad rep. Some people are afraid of them. They're banned in a lot of places, but there's no such thing as a bad dog, only bad owners. So even though I wish I would have trained my dogs a little bit better so that they knew a few more commands, I don't regret having my dogs whatsoever. This is Tokyo. She is a three-toed box turtle. She is technically my daughter's turtle, Alexandria. There's like a funny kind of sad story behind this. When we went to El Salvador, it was, what is it called? When the reptile or like the sea turtle laid eggs. What is it called? Okay, I can't remember. I'll remember at some point and put it down below. But it was the season when turtles come out of the ocean and lay their eggs, and we got to witness that. It was a beautiful experience seeing mama turtle lay her eggs. She did such a good job. She like covered the nest, make sure it was all good. But the sad part was that a local dug the eggs up to sell them. People eat the eggs and people make money to feed their families, so I'm not judging that person whatsoever. I know people do what they have to do to feed their families and survive, so nonetheless I was crying the whole night, and my daughter she still remembers that. Every time like she would make a wish, she would tell me that she wished that she could have a turtle egg so that I could have a turtle. And long story short, she asked Santa Claus for a turtle, and I did a lot of research on what would be the best turtle for her. Stuff like that. You don't want to get a pet just because your kid asks you for one. You want to make sure that you as the parent will be willing to take care of that animal. So we went with the box turtle. She burrows a lot. Kids, they lose interest, so I didn't want a pet that needed a lot of interaction, and we went with the box turtle. And this is Tokyo. We got her from a Craigslist ad. The breeder was up in Lodi, so me and my husband went to go pick her up, and now she's ours. She has gotten so much bigger than when we first got her. I know she's still tiny, but she was even smaller than this. So she's a lot of fun. She burrows a lot. She's a shy girl. We handle her once in a while. Alexandria takes her out and lets her swim in a bowl, and she loves that about her, that she can swim. So yeah, this is her. This handsome guy right here is Frankie. He is a leopard tortoise. After having Tokyo, I have to sneeze. Excuse me. Anyways, like I was saying, after having Tokyo for a few months, I was doing some more research. I wanted a tortoise, mainly because they do not eat insects. And at the time when I had Tokyo, I was still not used to the insects, and I had to like cut her insects so she could actually eat them because she was so small, and that was just horrendous. Like, I hated doing that. I still did it because I wanted her to eat and be healthy, but I was like, my next reptile, I really want a tortoise, possibly like a really big one, not a sulcata though, because those get too big, but I wanted something bigger than like a Herman's tortoise. So I did my research, and I ended up with Frankie. Again, he is a leopard tortoise. He was a lot smaller when we got him. My husband actually found him at a pet store in the Bay Area. I forgot exactly where, but somewhere in the Bay Area. Picked him up. He's been growing so fast. He didn't have all this white area in between his shell, like in between the scoots of his shell, and now he does. So he's just gotten so much bigger. He is so cute. He's a really good eater. He like sniffs around like a little puppy dog, and he sniffs all his food before he eats it, and it's just been so much fun watching him grow. Like, look at that. He's so cute. How could you not love him? Look at the little feet. We need to cut your nails, dude. They're getting kind of lengthy. In this enclosure is my crested gecko, Tilly. She does not like to be handled or taken out of her enclosure, so this is why we are looking at her in her enclosure. I got her off of Craigslist. I was researching whether I should get a crested gecko or leopard gecko, and after doing the research, I just felt like either one would be a great fit for me and my family. So Tilly just happens to be the first gecko that I came across, and I love watching her. I like come stalk her at night hunting. She's a great hunter, and yeah, she's been great to have. She was in a pretty decent, she was in the same enclosure. The setup was pretty decent, but I did go bioactive, and I feel like she's been thriving very well in here. This is Sunflower, our leopard gecko. She's in the middle of shedding right now. You know, I don't want to pull that off. She was in her moist hide. I hate to take her out, but she's only shedding on her head now, so I figured it was okay to handle her. I was on Craigslist once again. There was a breeder out in Fair Oaks. I went to go pick her out. They had a bunch of them, and she was actually the oldest, and so she was used to being handled more and not as jumpy. So that's one of the reasons why I picked her, and also just because she's so beautiful. Her pattern is so beautiful. So this is her. She's a cutie. And she reminds me of a sunflower. Like, her colors were very sunflower vibes, and that's why I named her Sunflower. Want to say hi to Nairobi? Oh, she's so sweet. Such a sweet baby. This big gal is Nairobi, our bearded dragon. Another Craigslist. She's the last reptile that we got. She found her on Craigslist, found the breeder on Craigslist. She is a female. Because I got both Sunflower and Nairobi from a breeder, I do know for a fact that they are females. Well, actually, I don't know for a fact. That's just what they told me, so I figured that they are. She was so tiny when we first got her. She is so much fun. She loves to cuddle. Like, we'll wrap her up in a blanket and she'll just fall asleep with us watching movies and hanging out. And she loves her food. As you can see, she eats all her salad, no problem, all her insects. And she's very chill. She's not very active, which explains the weight. But we're working on it. So this is her. She's a big gal. Hi, sweetie. She's just a chill girl. Doesn't puff up her beard. Just very chill, very docile. Very happy with her. She's great. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about all of my pets. At this time, I do feel like I have the perfect amount of reptiles. I don't plan on getting any more anytime soon, at least not while my kids are little. But my kids really do want a puppy, so I don't know. We'll see if that happens anytime soon. And I will catch you guys on the next video.